Out of all of the bosses in Delta, the Pain is definitely the one giving players the most trouble on the hardest difficulties. In this video, I will explain his boss encounter in depth, so hopefully you can finally bring him down. Let's get into it. Firstly, we need to go over what makes this version of the Pain much harder than the original. Mostly, it's due to the change Konami made to his B armor. Instead of taking one grenade of any kind to shed his armor, it now takes two, with the exception of smoke grenades. More on those a little later. The only other weapon that chips away at his armor is the M37 shotgun, which you can and should pick up before his boss fight. It is found in this narrow path on the right side of the cave map that leads to the Pain. Don't forget to also pick up the smoke grenades right in front of his boss arena. Next, before you start, you want to equip grenade camo, exit the camo menu, and then equip your damage reduction camouflage, such as the Peace Walker battle dress or the Metal Gear Solid 3 sneaking suit. If you have neither of those camos, OSCAM works as well. We equip these camouflages now to put them on the quick swap menu, since we're going to be going back and forth between the two pretty often. Lastly, make sure you equip the M37 shotgun, your smoke grenades, regular grenades, the Patriot or AK-47, hopefully you have at least one or the other, and either the torch or knife. Equip your Patriot or AK and have them ready to go. Also make sure your Mark 22 is equipped and unsuppressed. Once you've confirmed that you've done all that, you're ready to head into the boss fight. The first phase of the fight starts as soon as the encounter begins and lasts until the Pain reaches 50% stamina. I'm going to call what you should do during the first phase the opener. Let's start with the most optimal opener. What we're looking for here is to interrupt the Pain's pheromone grenade with a few quick headshots from our Patriot. Keep in mind, he might stand still at the beginning, he might roll, or he might tiptoe. Whatever he does here, your goal is the same: to make him recoil or flinch, which stops him from throwing his grenade right at the beginning of the encounter. At that point, we can follow up with some Mark 22 headshots. All of that is step 1. Now, if you mess this up, you still want to try and get at least 2 Trank headshots in. However, you may notice that around this time, the pheromone bees are going to start closing in. This is when the torch or knife come into play. You can actually use these weapons to swat away the pheromone bees that come chasing after you. Also, I discovered while making this video that you can actually shoot at them from range with something like the Patriot, and that'll make them disappear as well. Combined with wearing your damage reduction camouflage, this should mitigate most of the damage the bees would do to you. The reason why you want to do this over jumping into the water is because you're able to follow up with some headshots easier this way, rather than wasting time jumping into the water and trying to shoot while swimming. Whether you get the opening headshots with the Patriot or not, the next step is to try and get as many headshots as you can on the Pain. Once you do, he will immediately equip his B armor. This is when we want to use the M37 shotgun. 4 shots to his B armor will make him shed it. During this time, however, the Pain may throw his own grenades at you. These can be shot down with your Patriot, or you can wait for them to reach you and then simply jump into the water, or use the animation of Snake climbing back onto the island to give you invulnerability or iframes. If you manage to shoot them down near the Pain, these will actually shed some of his B armor, requiring less M37 blasts and less grenades to fully take it off. He may also do this sort of dance move that indicates he is either going to try to blind you with his bees or fully encapsulate you with them. If you're quick and you see this coming, you can roll into the water to avoid these moves. His Tommy gun attack is telegraphed by a short animation that shows him summoning the weapon. You can and should cancel this animation by pressing either the options button or the escape key if you're on PC. The animation will still play out in the background, however you can actually control Snake during this time and hide behind the island in order to avoid any damage. Also keep in mind that during his Tommy gun attack, he will sometimes shed his B armor. You can use first person view while you're aiming, and the stand tall button, which is R3 on controller and V on PC by default, to fire a free shot at him if you can. The Pain may also use his vanish move, which allows him to teleport from his island onto yours, and if he touches you, it does major damage. If you see him disappear, immediately roll off the island into the water. The last move you may see is his most lethal. He equips his B armor, hits this weird pose, and summons grenade after grenade before launching them at you. If you see this move and you're quick, you can throw a smoke grenade at him and it will stop all of the grenades in their tracks and probably shed his bee armor. Or the safer route is to immediately roll off of your island and dive into the water to avoid the grenades. At this point, we've seen all of his moves and know how to avoid them, so all that's left is to keep chipping away at him with your shotgun and regular grenades. You want to save your smoke grenades until phase 2, but if you're running low on shotgun ammo, you can use up to 2 of your smoke grenades to try and push him into that next phase. Just make sure you keep one handy, as we can't use grenade camo and have infinite smokes unless you have at least one smoke grenade left. Once you bring him to 50% stamina, phase 2 will begin. This phase begins with the Pain's bullet bees as indicated by the short cutscene. These can be avoided 2 ways. The safest option is to roll off of your island immediately and then continuously press the dive button and stay submerged for a few seconds before resurfacing. Try not to stay under the water too long, since the bullet bees are only active for a short while, and also because the Pain may throw grenades during this time and they will hit you if you're underwater. The second way is far riskier, but lets you get back to getting headshots in on the Pain much quicker. You want to roll off and then immediately make your way back to your island, and then use the iframes from the climbing animation to avoid the bees. This requires strict timing and is not recommended if you don't have the timing down. I just thought I'd show you in case it comes in handy. After avoiding the bullet bees, we now want to switch to our smoke grenades. If you have 2 or 3, you should keep your damage reduction camo on for the time being. If you only have 1 smoke grenade left, make sure to switch to grenade camo when it's safe to try and get the bee armor off of the Pain. The Pain will have the same attacks that can be dodged the same way as in phase 1. Just keep in mind the only difference is that the Pain can also use his bullet bees at any moment during this phase as well. Use a combination of smoke grenades, your shotgun, regular grenades, more of which spawn under your island by the way, to shed his bee armor, and don't forget about your torch and knife to keep those pesky bees away. If you need more ammo for either your Mark 22 or your shotgun, both can be found on the other island across the stage. Remember to switch between your grenade camo and your damage reduction camo when it's safe. Don't use up your last smoke grenade on accident, and don't unequip your armor when you're about to take damage. If everything we've gone over still isn't working, you can try this one last strategy. It involves positioning yourself behind the island with grenade camo on and lobbing smoke grenades over to the Pain repeatedly while popping headshots from the water. Just keep in mind, to do this successfully, you need to know how to abuse the stand tall mechanic, as well as know how to quickly tactical reload fire while in first person view. If you need help getting through the rest of the game and achieving Foxhound rank, make sure you check out my guide here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.